The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some independent Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent Optavia coaches. Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with Optavia results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the Optavia income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. We're going to have a super power-packed time together, and I want to welcome you to our Optavia community. I'm Charlene Green, and I'm going to share more about myself, but first I want to share about our agenda for tonight. So first is going to be our Habits of Health community time. This is going to be sensational 30 minutes for you, and we're going to really unpack the secrets to keeping your New Year's resolutions tonight, so that's going to be really exciting. And then, of course, we're going to move after that. So don't leave after 30 minutes because the best is the last part, I think, which is the inspiring stories of transformation. And who doesn't love a great story? I've always loved a great story since I was a little girl. But what I love about these stories is they're real stories from real people transforming their life. We're also going to really share the rewards of coaching and how it's a natural byproduct when you're on your own journey of getting healthy to optimal health. So that's healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, the whole package. It's really what I think is the sweet spot in life, and that's going to happen directly following this 30-minute Habits of Health presentation together. So I could say get your glass of water, get ready, and maybe a pen and paper. You might want to take some notes. It'd be great if you wanted to keep your life book handy. Nearby. You might want to reference something tonight during that, or definitely you can always write notes on your piece of paper. So I think we're going to get started in just a minute. I see people coming in to our room here from lots of different places all over the United States, and now actually all over the world because we are now international. So I think it's time. Should we get going? Yes? Okay, let's do it. So this is Optavia. And we are here tonight with you to have Habits of Health community time. Ready? It's going to be a great 30 minutes. Let's get started on secrets to achieving your New Year's resolutions. And this is hosted by me. I'm Charlene Green, and I want to share a little bit about myself before we dive in. And that is really a little bit about my journey. I love the words then and now because every day we go to sleep and that day's over, that's now then. And the new day is now, and that's what life is about. And for me, I really grabbed hold of the Habits of Health on my journey. And 5 years later, since this first picture was taken, I am living my best life, and it just keeps getting better. So I'm excited to help you do that tonight. And tonight, our agenda is this. We're going to actually debunk some common myths that people have about resolutions. So we got to work on our mindset first of how does our mind wrap around that. And then our skill set will come next. That's to discuss some strategies with you tonight. I've got some great speakers to join me, help you gain some skills, habits, tools, so that you can really use these to attain your goals, to really have those resolutions realized. Who would love to do that this year instead of not doing that as in the past, perhaps? And finally, the third thing we're going to do is we're going to get into action. And that's where you're going to get to share some specific steps with you about how you can achieve your desired outcomes. And I know that's what we really love. And I love that word, desired outcome. So here we go. I want to start with a poll, which can best describe who's here with us tonight. And the poll is going to be, are you a coach? Are you a client? Are you a guest? And so I'm going to click that I'm an Optavia coach. What are you clicking? So pop in there and take the poll, and let's keep going. So guys, it's really interesting with studies really about this whole topic tonight of New Year's resolutions. And the studies have actually shown that less than 25% of people actually stay committed to their resolutions. After just 30 days, they're already like falling apart, and only 8% accomplish them. So again, 25% of people actually stay committed to their resolutions for 30 days, and only 8% ever accomplish them. And I'm excited tonight because I get to share with you really the privilege to hear from an amazing woman who's all the way across the ocean in Hawaii from where I am. And that's my good friend, Lee Saosi. And Lee's going to share with you because she was the queen of making a resolution. So Lee, are you with us?
I am, Charlene. Hello, everyone. And yes, I was the queen of making New Year's resolutions. I would make a New Year's resolution every year. And I know I'm not the only queen. I know that there are others out there who did the same. And, but Charlene, I wasn't part of that 8%, that slide that you had up there. I didn't reach my New Year's resolution. In fact, I made the same New Year's resolution each year. And it was always about a number on the scale. And each year, I used to have these little pocket calendars, and I would write each week that number that I wanted to reach, and had those benchmarks. But it was funny because I would write that number in pencil. And what does that tell you? When I'm writing it in pencil, it's because I was making course corrections every year. And so, at the beginning of January, like many of you, I know that I was excited. I was motivated. I was excited for this New Year's resolution. I could picture that number on the scale. And then about the end of January, so motivation from head to toe, right? By the end of January, my motivation and excitement was probably right here in my pinky. I wasn't anywhere near where I wanted to be at that point. And so, that's the cycle I lived in. Year after year, and resolutions, I have resolutions this year, but, in previous years, it was, why don't we hit it? And it's because life comes at us, life starts to happen. And that really does affect our motivation. And so what I love about Optavia, when Optavia came into my life, the Habits of Health system was introduced to me by my health coach. And that Habits of Health system that you see here is indeed a transformational system. It is what gave me, it was the mechanism to help me reach my goals. Last week we talked about element 1, being clear why you are here, and knowing where you are right now, that current reality, it's so important. It's so important to know exactly where you are so you know where you want to go. But your why is your driving force. And that was the game changer for me. It was my intrinsic motivation. It's what kept me going. It's what inspired me to really act and install the habits. And that's what Dr. Anderson has created for us with the Habits of Health transformational system. My coach helped me install these micro changes of health, these little changes of health and habits that eventually became routine for me. And it eventually kept me going. And so January would come and February, and then I would hit that goal and hit my mark. And so, the Habits of Health system really was pivotal in the change for me, for my health transformation. And so, your mindset is probably where we start, and I'm going to ask you right now just to pause, what is your readiness to change on a scale of 1 to 10? Just take a moment and think about that. How ready are you to make the change? And I love seeing these 10s and 9s, amazing. And do you have limiting beliefs, concepts about what is possible? The Habits of Health system, Dr. Anderson shares with us, by installing these habits, one habit at a time, we're helping, so that we become the dominant force in our life. That is the ultimate goal. It helps us to believe, as we reach these goals, then it's the next goal and the next one. And then anything becomes possible, absolutely anything, whatever is on your heart and whatever is that deep desire for you. And so I will, end with this, Charlene, and say that this all couldn't have happened without partnering with my health coach. And so I have the privilege of introducing my health coach, Lynn Cambia. And she's just going to take it away and tell us, now that we have the mindset, what's the skill set to go along with it. Lynn?
Thank you, Lee. Just like Lee, I was one of those people also who, she was the resolution queen, and I was the vision board queen. And so every single year, I would go ahead and make my vision board, but the unfortunate thing about that is that I had no structure to follow up with those goals. And so what I love now is that we can go ahead and look at the top 6 resolutions, and we can go ahead and start really making those goals. And so these are the top 6. And what I want to know is to find out what yours are. So the first one is maybe it's to manage your finances better. Perhaps it's eating better or healthier, be more active, lose weight, improve your mental well-being, and improve social connections. And so let's go ahead and make sure that you make your goals SMART. Okay, so SMART is just an acronym of these things. And so let's go ahead and break each one of them down. So S stands for specific. And really, this is that one target goal. And, a lot of times people want to go ahead and do cluster goals, and they want 5 different things. And it leaves confusion. And so we want to focus on that one thing. The second is measurable. And, it could be, I want my family to be happier. I think they're happier, but there's no way to measure that. However, I can slide my butt in that size 6 jeans, let me tell you. So that's measurable. Next is achievable. And, I want to be able to bring my family on a vacation. And, I know that that's achievable. It's achievable because, did you take them on vacation or did you not? And, and really that goes into improving your mental well-being. And so that is achievable. Next is relevant. Does it matter to you? Is it important to you? Is it relevant to you? And then of course, time sensitive is, start today. And I'm going to start today and I'm going to meet my goal by this certain time. So, Charlene, that's what I have. So take it away.
Lynn, thank you so much for sharing. And I really love that we are all now smarter. Do you guys feel smarter from this? I think a lot of people have heard this acronym, but they don't actually understand it. They don't understand really the specific is that one thing that you're shooting for. People want to cluster their goals. And so you can't shoot all the targets. You got to pick one. And I love that Lynn really brought into an understanding for relevant, that it's important to you, which is what Lisa Yossi was talking about. Element 1 is really about your big why. And so I really love having goals that are SMART, specific, measurable. If you reached it or not. Like making my family happy, I can't know if I did that necessarily, but I know, like Lynn said, if my jeans fit. And that whole achievable is so important. Like you have to know that it's possible. And relevant, important to you, time sensitive. You have a start and a stop date. Lynn, thank you so much for helping us with that today. I love that. And you guys, I want to now take some time and I want to just visit with you about the secrets now to achieving your New Year's resolution. Before I go through these different steps, I want to talk to you about the word resolution, because it's kind of like a word that we don't really use a lot in Optavia, a New Year's resolution. And Dr. Anderson has talked a lot about how most people's resolutions never happen. Because they don't have that structure, like Lisa Yossi was talking about earlier, in order to change their behavior. And so if you could picture this, that if this is like a box and it's the structure, and then the behavior's on top of it. And it's so important because people always want to change their behavior, but that's not what changes. The structure does, and then you change how you're behaving day in, day out. And then it becomes a habit. And our Habits of Health transformation system, HOHTS, that's actually a habit installation system to help you create new habits. So really integrating into that life book, using the app on your phone to remind you that you're on point with the macro habit of 2 of them of healthy fueling, eating, hydration, getting to that healthy weight. That reminder, it's so important. Obviously you're on here tonight, so well done. And maybe you're watching the playback. Great job of making time for what matters most, which is your health. So I really want to highlight that the word resolution for us is something that we know now in Optavia. We can set a goal, which is our desired outcome, and we can see that come into life because we've got the structure, we've got the habit installation. So I love what I'm seeing here as people are kind of responding here on this live webinar, just about how it really, structure is my friend. I'm seeing a lot of great stuff in here. This is awesome. And so let's talk now about the secrets. What's the secret sauce to achieving your New Year's resolution? In the past, you wouldn't, but now you can. Well, first, it's really identifying your true desire of what that outcome that you want to see happen is. And like Lynn just taught us with the SMART goal, getting that on a target. You're like, that's what I'm doing. I think it's interesting because our GPS on our phones, you can't tell it to go to 2 places. It will say, I don't know how to compute that. And neither does your brain. So give it the one target to shoot for, give it the one thing to go for, and you're not going to believe how much more power is behind that. Step 1. And I want to again highlight the first element that we talked about last week, element 1 in your life book, where you're in that interactive journal, really getting involved. That element is really going to help you identify your whys, the why things are important to you, what's important to you, and you're going to have a better idea as you move through those first 3 elements of what's really going to change your life. Number 2, emotionalize it. I really love this step, and this isn't being an emotional person. It's actually putting energy behind it, life force behind it. I call this like in living color, 3D kind of activation where it's not one-dimensional, it's multi-dimensional. You can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it. What's it going to be like when you reach it? How are you going to feel? Who are you going to be celebrating with? When I'm exploring with clients about starting their health journey and I find out where they are now and what they want, we talk about how's it going to feel when you're on that hike? How's it going to feel when you're slipping that bathing suit on with your kids and you're heading onto your vacation in the ocean? Because that's what matters to you. I love that in Optavia, our whole mission of lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time, what's so powerful about that is we're not interested in, I want you to do this, which is how so many people grew up in families. That's how they grew up in life. That's how a lot of corporate structures are. We're interested in finding out what's important to you and helping you achieve your goals, your desires. So really powerful stuff. When you think about emotionalizing something, it's actually, what's the energy behind that? How's it going to feel? Can you feel it? Can you close your eyes and see it? That's when you bring a lot of energy and life to it. So step 2, emotionalize it. Step 3, write it down. Nope, that doesn't say type it up. It says write it down, because when you write something, you're making kind of like a little pathway in your brain that it starts really grabbing hold of that. So write it down. You can write it in your life book. That's your interactive journal. I like to write little things on little note cards and put them around like a sticky on my mirror when I go in there. And when I see it, I'm looking at that like we want to buy a new house in a tropical location, for instance. And so when I look at that and I'm brushing my teeth, I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait to be in that warm sun on that white beach. I'm starting to feel that, and it helps me to get into sync with that. So writing it down, feeling the feeling when you look at it, and then of course setting up 30-day target. I want to be here by then. 60-day targets, 90-day targets. And back to Lynn's SMART goal is it possible? Is it achievable? Who is the person that can really help you with that, with your well-being goals? Is your Optavia coach. So number 5 is share it with them. Share it with your Optavia coach so they can actually help you. And then number 6, stay connected to your community. Why? Because community is where the power is. Welcome to watching this webinar right now, because honestly, this is community right here virtually. And if you're on live, you can interact. If you're watching it back, just know that you're a part of a huge movement of people that are getting their health to a whole new level. Maybe you're in some Facebook community pages or lots of different places that we have live community events. Share it with your healthy community. And finally, invite others to join you on the journey. Nothing is as powerful in my mind as bringing people with you, because together we're stronger. And what's exciting about inviting other people into your journey of health and well-being? Have them grab their life book, start a life book club. It's so exciting because what happens is now you're not alone, and there's strength in numbers. I mean, every great movie that I love is when people come together and they create a movement. And that's what we're doing in Optavia, and it's going to circle the globe. So community is so important. Love that. Okay, and then let's see. We have finished this list. So your secrets to achieving your New Year's resolutions, you've got 7 great secrets that you can now deploy these activities and see some great results. So as we're moving along, you guys, let's take a minute and let's take another poll. So I want to ask you a question. What is your biggest barrier to achieving your resolution in your mind? What is the biggest barrier that you have? Knowing what to do, accountability, staying committed, motivation, or something else? What is your biggest barrier? So take the poll. You've only got 75 seconds, and we're going to share the results here in a minute because I'm really curious with this live community that's on here, what your biggest barrier in your own mind is. Powerful stuff. All right, while we're waiting for those results, let's move on to some action steps. So here's one of our most powerful tools that we learn on this journey, and that is the Stop, Challenge, Choose tool. Stop what you're doing. And I always say the first thing to do when you stop is take a breath and center yourself. Actually, one of the best breathing techniques that is in your life book that I absolutely love is 4 seconds of breathing in and 4 of breathing out. And you're supposed to do that 3 to 4 times. You know, I'm a diver, and it reminds me of being in the water. We're just going up and down, and it just really relaxes you. So stop what you're doing, get a little relaxed so that you can make that connection with yourself and reflect on your why. Why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? That New Year's resolution, when you want to like bail on yourself. Challenge yourself next. Step 2. Challenge yourself to follow your plan, the plan that you've made. So important, because that plan actually is in there to help you succeed. Remember, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So you did your plan on the slide before with the secrets to your New Year's resolutions coming true. Just challenge yourself. What if I followed my plan? What if I stayed on course, stayed on track? And then last but least, choose. Stop, challenge, choose. Now you're making a conscious choice. Choose what you want, but you could choose to lean in, stay connected with your coach, your community, and the Habits of Health tools that you have right here for you. I think there's been a lot of times I've leaned in and I've grabbed my life book, and I've actually just thought, I'm going to dive into that because I'm feeling a little bit disconnected right now. I'm going to go back and look at my why and remember how great that's going to feel. I'm going to make sure I've shared it with other people so that I'm not doing it alone. You guys see the power of this? So I think it's great if we've got the results from our poll. I'd love to see those. So let me see. Here they are right now. So let's see, you guys. Wow. You know, I thought this might be the answer when I was looking at this earlier. Guess what the 57% of the people on this responded with? It's staying committed. So the one that had the most votes was staying committed, followed by knowing what to do and motivation tied. So that's it, you guys, is staying committed. You've got to be able to stay committed. And ironically, that comes from our transformation system. It comes from all the things that we talked about today, being connected to your health coach, and so much more. So I want to ask you tonight, how did you enjoy this community time? Was it good for you? It was great for me. I love being with you guys. I'd love you to rate it overall as how you enjoyed it. You know, excellent, very good, good. Answer in there. We'd love to know. We want to know how we can continue to serve you as part of our community and help you create lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. So make sure you take the poll in there. And then before wrapping up tonight, you guys, I would love to help you know how you can stay connected with our YouTube channel. There's a lot of really powerful videos in there from our Habits of Health calls. And I love it. You know, I like to use these tools sometimes in the morning when I'm getting ready. You know, people talk about their car being a university, that they listen to things when they're driving. There's so many things you listen to on your phone like these. Man, in a commute, you could get one of these done every day. Can you imagine that audio power going into your mind for our Habits of Health? But I also like to use my time when I'm blowing dry my hair or getting ready in the morning or walking the dog, listening to this. And if you don't have a lot of time, just take a little time, but do it consistently. Make that a habit that you install. Make a commitment to yourself to do it for 7 days. So let me just talk about this for a minute of how actually you can interact on this slide is first, when you go onto YouTube Habits of Health, you just type in Habits of Health, subscribe, click that button. Do you see that with the blue arrow there? Next, I want to encourage you to actually comment. Make a comment, because that'll be great for our channel. We'll probably get more traffic, which means more people can actually see what we're doing and join us and create well-being and health in their life. And last but least, up here at the top, you can see Habits of Health. It's where you can like really search for things, stay connected to things, and really see the list of things, scroll through it and find what you're looking for. All right, so there's some great resource tools for you with YouTube and how you can really stay connected. So before we go this evening, I'd love to just kind of share with you that we have an incredible next week lineup already planned. So next week, we're moving into element 2, and that'll be with your life book. And we're gonna really highlight this topic, which is knowing what you want to accomplish. And again, people often, when you ask them what they want to do, they're not quite sure because their mind's in so many places. Element 2 is going to break this down for you. You're going to love it. We're so excited to bring it to you, and it's going to be hosted by Joanna Mitchell. So tune in for that. It's going to be fabulous.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some independent Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent Optavia coaches. Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with Optavia results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the Optavia income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.